Okay, now we have 3 buttons created. Let's see if we can program them to do something. The next item I have to create is called a listener. So I'm going to type in the name of the variable of the first button and put a period. Now you can see that there are lots and lots of things that Android automatically knows about buttons. And so there's this list of 100 or so objects. What we want to do is I'm going to type the word set and on, click, and you can start to see the list of options shortening. On click listener is what I'm looking for. So I press the tab key and it'll finish the typing. On click listener. A click listener is a program that will run when it hears or senses a button being clicked. So what happens when we set this listener? We have to create something called a new object, and you can see a hint down here that says, I think I know what you're going to type. It's on click listener. So I'm going to type in on, and sure enough, tab key. Whoa, it filled in a whole bunch of stuff for us. The important thing is that we have a new function called onClick that just showed up. And so whenever the button Toast1 is clicked, we can run some code. Well, you remember, in our application, we want to create a little pop-up message, one of those toast messages, when that button is clicked. So let's create a new toast. So I'm going to type the word toast. And you can see that it automatically filled in a whole bunch of stuff for me when I selected the second item on the list. So toast, make text, main activity, this, what's all this stuff? Basically, this is telling it where the program is going to place that toast. There's a little a quotation here that's going to let us type in our message. That this is the amount of time that will show up on the how long the toast will last. It's set for a short span. We could change that if we wanted to. We could rename that as length with capitals. And you can see I have short and long as a choice. So I'm going to choose long in this case. And then finally it says period show. So it'll show the text. Well, what am I going to show? What was the first question? Let's go back to our strings. The first one was, I'm not lazy. And the answer to that was, I'm just very relaxed. Okay, and so let's test that out. Let's run it and see what happens. So you can see our application is running now, and the first button has a toast message that pops up. So that one's working. Now the other buttons don't have any programming done, so they're still dead, but at least we have one done. Now I'm going to finish the application for the first 3 buttons very quickly. You can type along as fast as you can. Okay, you saw that I had to actually change some of the buttons. I had mislabeled them at the beginning, and so now I have 3 that are working that tell a joke. Okay, so I've programmed the first 3 buttons. Now let's go ahead and program the second 3. So first of all, let's add some more of these variables to the list. Button, and I called this one message1 underscore, let's see, message2, and button message3. Let's go in here and add some more variables. Let's say button message1 is also we need to find its ID on the layout, and so it is going to be r.id.b underscore message1. Okay, so let's pause here again. You've noticed I've added all the variables for the buttons at the top, and I've assigned each of those to a ID that's on our layout. And so now I'm ready to program message 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's go into number 4 here. So let's go into message number 1. B message 1. I'm going to do the same routine. I'm going to set on-click listener, and I'm going to create a new on-click listener. And now inside here, instead of saying on-click with a toast, I'm going to do an on-click routine that changes the text of our layout item called the text view message. And so we need to get that as well into our program. So somewhere in here, we need a new variable. It's going to be type text view. And I'm going to use TV message as the name for the variable. So I declare that at the top. Now down here where I'm gathering all of these IDs, I'm going to do the same idea, except instead of saying button each time, I'm going to say TV message equals type text view. But I also find the same ID range. And so now TV message is aware, or the Java program is aware of what TV message is. We can use that down here in our program now. So I'm going to say TV message, and there is a nice routine called set text. Do you see that? So I'm going to choose the tab key, and inside there I can set the text to something such as my first joke. To err is human, and then the second answer to that was to blame somebody else is even more human. Let's run that and see if that works. And so you can see that this first button actually put the message up there into our text view. Now, I'll let you program the other buttons. They work just like here. Okay, so I've got all the buttons programmed now. So message button 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all set to a click listener, and they each set a different message on the text view item. So let's see if that works. It looks like these buttons are all programming to do their thing, and the toast buttons, they're also set to do their toasting. There's one more thing that we should do. In each one of these strings, we have a hard-coded string into our app. Now, just like in the buttons, you're not supposed to leave hard-coded strings there. So we have a item here that says light bulb. What are we going to do? Extract the string resource. Let's try that item. And let's go this with the, let's call this string resource answer1. And you notice we have r.string.answer1. So the resources in the strings area answer1, we have a new item where we have the answer. And so you can take out these strings in your code just like we did in our buttons. Okay, so I've taken all my strings into one place. So now if you wanted to rename your jokes, you wouldn't have to go search through your code in your program. They're all here. Or if you wanted to change it into Spanish, you could also type everything right here. And so this is the final of your product here. This is your jokes app. One more thing you'd like to experiment with, that if you want to change the color of things, you can go and take a look at things like background, and you can find colors that you can choose from there. You can make your buttons different colors. You can change the screen itself if you want to do the background. You can really make your app more customized than just black and white. So experiment. So add your own jokes to your application, and also modify any of the text, the size of the fonts. You can do all those with their properties in here as well.